Hello bros, Mimikyu strikes again. Someone requested that I play Mimikyu Shadow Claw, and here it is. I hope you enjoy it and learn something. These are the build that I'm using when I'm using Mimikyu in the jungler, and if you notice, I did not wear the attack weight because it's really hard to stack when you're playing as a jungler and you can possibly reach the 6 stacks in the game. So first of all, if you are playing Mimikyu Shadow Claw, or you need to be very aggressive in the laning that you are ganking, and also take note that the more stack you have in your Shadow Claw, so the maximum is 4, the more damage you will give to the enemy. So of course, Shadow Claw is very good. I suggest Shadow Claw, but sometimes the Shadow Claw is very vulnerable, which means that once you get caught and once you get CC, you will be very dead for sure. So here I'm ganking at the top lane. So also, if you are using Shadow Claw, you can just use one of it, but it's better to get 4 stack, but also it's impossible to get 4 stack because every hit you did is 1 Shadow Claw stack. So here I'm killing the enemy using my Shadow Claw, and if Pikachu is in there, we can finish them all, but it is what it is. So take note that when you're using Shadow Claw and Shadow Sneak combo, every hit or boosted attack that you hit to the enemy, you will gain 2 boosted of Shadow Claw, but if it's just a 1 attack to the enemy, it's just 1 Shadow Claw. So also you need to remember that try to stack the boosted attack of Mimikyu when entering the fight so that you can get 2 stack of the Shadow Claw. So Shadow Claw is very fast farming also because it's an AoE. That's why it is one of the most preferable play in Mimikyu Shadow Claw, because its AoE damage is very insanely good. So if you are playing a Mimikyu, try to distance yourself and use the Shadow Sneak against the walls. Surprising your enemy is very good here. So here I'm waiting for the Synergies to use his mobility, but he doesn't have mobility anymore, so I just jump in. So this is why Shadow Claw is very good, because it's really good damage. Its AoE damage is insanely good, and also especially combined with the Shadow Sneak. The Shadow Sneak is, the damage of Shadow Sneak is very good combined with the Shadow Claw. So here I'm rotating again to the bottom lane to help my team, so that we will gain momentum until the late game. So here I'm waiting for my Shadow Sneak to connect to the enemy, and I'm trying to target the Cinder here, and I got hit. So also, when you get resets Shadow Sneak, try to anticipate the movement here. So here I'm trying to extend my range of the Shadow Sneak and jumping to the Venusaur, and I'm trying to get my Penta here. So I'm going in, I'm trying to kill this. So there's just a combo, it's just Shadow Sneak, hit, and use Shadow Claw. So I'm waiting for the Cinder there to use his mobility, and here I'm just farming my pentakill here. Look at that damage, bro. That is why Shadow Sneak is really very good, but it is not very good against a CC character. So I recommend, if you are using Shadow Claw and the enemy has CC, I recommend the full heal, but here it doesn't have too much CC, so I'm just using my X attack here to add more damage to my Shadow Sneak and Shadow Claw combo. So to be safe, full heal is a must, but I prefer X attack because I love high damage and burst damage to the enemy. So here I'm just targeting the attacker first, because when you are playing Mimikyu, you always need to prioritize the attackers. Use the Shadow Sneak to target the attacker, and use the Shadow Sneak to extend the range by hitting it through the wall. The more walls you hit, well, use the Shadow Sneak, the more range it gives. So here I don't know why my Shadow Stick snaps in there, but I'm targeting the Venusaur there. So I'm just, as you've seen, I'm playing aggressively because I know I can kill them. And also, it is very good against the enemy to try to pressure them in the lanings so that I will get their XP. And also, I am giving the XP to my team in my jungle. So, it's a very, very good trade. So, here, I'm just shooting my Shadow Sneak and waiting for him to use his ability. And that's why I get the KO. So always keep in mind when you shadow sneak to the enemy and it connects, try to prolong it and try to let them use their mobility or eject button in order for you to successfully hit your shadow claw, because when you are using your shadow sneak and you immediately press it and the player has a mobility like Cinder Ace, for example, he uses mobility but you use your shadow sneak, you can reach your shadow claw and you will be dead, especially when the Cinder is using a blaze kick, which is very good against the Mimikyu shadow claw because you can't really reach the Cinder. So you really need to wait and patiently wait for the Cinder to use his mobility first before activating your shadow stick. So here I'm using the bush to maximize the range of my shadow sneak and just shadow sneak and they're pretty dead. So always remember, shadow sneak, try to be patient, watch their positioning and wait for the enemy to use his mobility, and after that use the shadow sneak, hit your boosted attack in order for you to have 2 shadow claw and use the shadow claw, and that's it, you're pretty good. So here I did a big huge mistake. I'm giving too much XP to the enemy, so that's why you should not do that. So here always pre-aiming your shadow sneak to the attacker. So there I use my shadow sneak and because sometimes there's an enemy in that bush. So here we're targeting the Cinder and I see the Venusaur there, so I use my shadow sneak at the top, but sadly he used the eject button, so I'm pre-aiming again. So always use the shadow stick against the wall as I told you before. So here I'm pre-aiming again and use the shadow sneak and it connects, but Intelligent dies. So here I'm just waiting. So also if you have advantage in the game, you should not flip the Rayquaza, just try to kill them and defend your line. But they surrender just like that. Sadly I did not get the 30 kills. So always remember that when you are playing Mimikyu, try to be accurate and also wait for their mobility to use, and that's the right time you use Shadow Sneak, hit the boosted attack and use the Shadow Claw. So thank you bros, I hope we reach 20 likes again. Like and subscribe for more. Thank you bros and stay hydrated as always.